this.
It'll be interesting to see if we see the stack on the queue. Let me know when you're ready, man. Count it down.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Game number 2. We're jumping mid-game, mid-series into this to bring you what we think, after seeing a extraordinarily one-sided series, I expect these teams, especially Kill on Sight, man, like we said. They got themselves in the semifinals 2 weeks in a row, put up great fights. They're a very talented team, but they're down against the ropes right now. I don't think they're used to being in the semifinals. So I'm excited to see Kill on Sight coming back. They definitely got a chip on their shoulder right now. And
yes, let's talk about Kill on Sight, actually.
Let's talk about it.
For Kill on Sight, they are an orange team. We have Noko Puffs on Muriel, Imsco on Murdoch, Talrino on Twin Blast, Regem on Sevarog, and Miso Sneaky on Iggy and Scorch. Who is on Team Volatile there, my friend?
Team Volatile and Blue on the other side of the map is going to be Nebos on Sevarog, O-Main on Gideon, Twin Blast being played by Pixel, that one Legend on Grim, and then J. Leo Grande. So you Starbucks fans on Muriel right there. So judging by the fact that there's no Steel, I would say he's definitely one of the bans. There also is no Decker. And we see a Gideon. That's what I was talking about. Going into this, O-Main, he's on that Gideon roll. As the game progresses a little bit and this Gideon starts to get card levels, I'm going to see, is he going to go full energy damage? Is he going to go full assassin Gideon? Or is he going to go more into that sort of utility support role? He picks up Shockwave, Barrier of Will. There's a lot of utility supports that you can get on Gideon. So we'll see as the game progresses. 5 people in mid. Death ball sort of thing. This sort of thing we don't see that often anymore. But the Death Ball being the early game strategy.
Very aggressive play from Team Volatile. They are stealing the enemy jungle here. They said nay, and they're going to get those white camps. Regem is actually going to have to back off as Team Volatile comes in to get that last hit on his white camp there. Talrino, of course, he did pick up He's very low, though.
First blood.
Wow, first blood. Regem is also in a little bit of trouble here. Thank God he's under a tower, and they have no minions to help push there. But Talrino getting caught out. He did juke the stun or the root by Sevarog, but still lots of damage.
I mean, they were able to get that kill on the Twin Blast. But don't forget, guys, they are Death Ball. They're up on 5. I expect to see them aggressively go in on the red camp of Kill on Sight right here, because it is about to spawn. But I think Kill on Sight, are they just going to give this up? Do they even know about it? They don't have defensive wards. Regem's just going to okay, it's time to go to the red camp. He's going to turn around this corner, and all of a sudden a big surprise. But I think Kill on Sight can punish this. I think they should punish this. Their pincer maneuver. They got him on both sides. The red orb is picked up right here, but they have to punish this. Nebel's in the front line. He showed it up with the Muriel. Noko Puffs rooted up right now. Muriel and Sevarog in the front line, but their back line is exposed, and that's exactly what's happening. Regem is trying to get it back there, but he's actually getting exploited for that. The overextension, 1-for-1 thus far. Sevarog both go down. This is anyone's team fight right now. Notch Talrino 1v2. He's got to be careful. Again, these teams are split apart right here. Muriel's being separated away. Talrino's very low. He doesn't have his Muriel. No level 5, no ultimate. Pixel does go down, so Imsco able to pull it off. This is still such a scrappy team fight. Talrino's very low. He's going to be able to get out of there very well. I mean, Kill on Sight were able to get 2 kills right there for the giving up 1, but they still lost their red orb. And so that's 1,600 card experience between them not getting it and the opposing team getting it. So I would say if I was Kill on Sight, I actually wouldn't be happy with that exchange. I would have much rather been able to get that 800 experience for my entire team instead of just giving up a 1-for-2 exchange. So I actually like the position that Volatile's in right now, Josh.
I really do as well. They are going to team tongue-tied there for a second. Kill on Sight's going to rotate over. They are going to get their blue buff, so they will make up for the experience they lost. A little bit of the experience they lost. Those 2 team kills definitely helped get some of that 800 experience that they lost back.
Yeah.
But they have the lane advantage in at least one of the lanes right now, giving themselves, we will see Iggy and Scorch, Miso Sneaky rotate over. One of the best lane clears in the game. He's going to push these lanes back. Yeah. I think we're going to see a lot of equalizing of the lanes here. Noko went deep to, I guess, place a ward there is what happened. I thought he was going to get caught out. But get these lanes pushed back out. They do have a lane that they don't have to worry about.
Good lord. That man lives on a knife's edge right there. One more. He was killing a white camp. And I was like, is Talrino about to die to a creep? He literally almost died to a creep right there. But that's the Talrino we love, man. The dude lives on a razor's edge, and he was that greedy play right there. If there was a ward right there, it could have been bad, but he's going to let Regem get his souls and try to stack himself up here. So the last time we saw Sevarog, we touched on it lightly. Let's talk about it a little bit more. One of his core mechanics is his Q ability, and it stacks up it basically increases his overall strength, his health, his damage, so on and so forth. And talk about that a little bit, Notch. Why is that important? Why is it important that he uses it? And also, why do some teams just completely ignore it?
Well, the issue with using the Siphon ability is that it takes you out of the game. You're focused on stacking up a Q. When Epic has added a game where they've kind of made last hitting not a major factor, and now they've introduced a hero that he has to worry about stacking his Q to get that extra damage on it, to get that extra health. So if you focus on it too much, you can actually be taken out of the game. You can we've seen a lot of players do it. I've done it myself, where you focus too much on that, and you're no longer being the tanky hero that you need to be. You're no longer supporting your team. So we've seen a lot of teams ignore that. They build very, very tanky, and their main job is to strictly support their team and make sure that when you're in a team fight, they're front line. It's interesting to see. We do see them stacking it a little bit early game here. I will be interested to see what happens late game. Maybe they get to 20 stacks, they give themselves a pair of shoulders, and then they just focus on being the tank.
That's right, man. Papa needs a new pair of shoulder pads going into this right now. So it looks like the game has gone. The pace of the game has slowed down a little bit here, but on their side of the field, I'm not sure. Taurino, again, always in trouble. We do see that rotate coming out there. They're trying to rotate around. They actually, in the left lane, you could tell that they were trying to maybe do a little bit of a pincer maneuver there coming out from Team Volatile, but nothing's going to go down. They weren't able to pick off Taurino. He's able to get away to safety. Taking a look at the numbers. Team Volatile, card level 4 to the card level 2 and 3. Definitely not as bad as we saw in the other games, but I think Kill on Sight, they're a veteran team. They know what to do in this sort of situation. This is not unfamiliar territory for them. They definitely have what it takes to get themselves in good position, but a great timing push right here. Level 5, I'm sure, is on the horizon here for Team Volatile. Hit level 5. They have themselves a black buff as well. As wow, apparently Gideon just teleported us to a completely new dimension there. But they have the black buff. Hit level 5. Push down that left lane. Open up the potential for you to pick up that Orb Prime and keep that left lane pushed in. So I really like this. In early game timing, I like to see that teams are finally starting to adapt and get good enough to really be able to... they have the finesse to be able to pull these sort of things off. And we're just going to see more of this as the teams continue to develop and get better and better here. Yeah.
So if you guys, we're watching right now, and I made the comment that Epic has made last hitting not that important, and I want to clarify there. Last hitting on enemy minions is very, very important for your team. It's able to give the entire team, because card experience is shared, it's able to give your team 100 card experience by anyone that's near them. What I'm saying by making it a crucial on Sevarog is when you give one hero that has to worry about the last hit, especially if you have a Gideon on your team, for example, he opens a rift, he drops these boulders, it makes it almost impossible for Sevarog to actually stack his ability properly and give him the full benefit of his Q unless he's solo laning or jungling, and that's why it takes him out of the fight, and why we're probably not going to see these teams focus on building that Siphon up too much, because they're out of the fight.
So, I mean, the Black Orb was picked up here. Who is it? I believe it's on Sevarog. It's on Gideon.
It's on Gideon.
Gideon is just about a quarter of a level short of level 5. It does last for 3 minutes. So, I mean, maybe maybe it wasn't a timing. Maybe I was just getting a little bit ahead of myself here. They didn't want to just look at the experience, because it does, again, grants about 800 card experience. They're all in that area. But with Gideon being level 5, I would have loved to have seen them do a little bit, take a page of the Triangle Formation playbook, and that's something that they do, and I'm sure we're going to continue to see. They love getting that black buff around the 6 to 8 minute mark, and doing a big timing around level 5 with it, pushing down that left tower, and then falling back to the Orb Prime. They still have a little bit of time to execute that if they want to do so, but maybe just picking it up for the experience, keep themselves ahead. 6 minutes, it's been well past 6 minutes. That right lane Harvester still hasn't been picked up by either one of these teams. I'm sure we'll see someone fall back there right now. Now, around this time, around the 9 minute, we now see the Orb Prime Harvester is going to spawn. The Orb Prime boss itself is going to spawn, and the second, this is going to be the second spawning of the red and blue orbs. Another timing for teams to potentially make a play, whether it be aggressively or defensively. But 9 minutes is when teams have level 5. They can pick themselves up a red or a blue orb. This is generally where we see that lane phase start to break down a little bit here. The lane phase in Paragon, it can be, it's very, very fragile. Sometimes it doesn't even happen. We've seen a little bit of it this match, but I won't be surprised if we start seeing either one of these teams start consolidating and rotating across the map in larger groups than just 2 or 3.
Yeah, I mean, as you called it at 9 minutes, Kill on Sight was able to come over. They rotated instantly. They placed that Harvester. They cleared out the wards from Team Volatile. They warded up there the Prime boss, so they know if there's a fight there or when they go to get it, they can answer that and hopefully defend it. The Prime Orb early on gives you such an advantage when it comes to damage, not only to heroes, but also to structures and minions, depending on which card you have on. For example, Gideon, 75 energy damage, 100% damage bonus, and 300% damage for structures and minions. It's such an important card and such a power spike. That's why we see these teams going for this early, to give them an advantage in the lane game very early on. So it does look like, is it Nebos on Team Volatile? He is at 20 stacks on his Sevarog. You can tell again by his shoulder pads. And Regem is actually not at 20 stacks. Again, at every 20, 40, 60, and 80 stacks, you will see the shoulder pads for the Sevarog grow in size, and that will show you where they're at.
So keep a looking eye on that for you aspiring Sevarog players here. Both these teams just going, you know what, we're just going to go inside of our own jungle. We're not going to see any aggressive invasion around the second rotations of the red and blue orbs. Both of these teams just wanting to play the status quo game and continue to farm up. Taking a look at the numbers again, with there being very few kills, 2-2 on the side of the field. Now, the kills are even here, Notch. But the main thing is the kills that went down for Team Volatile, the entire team was there. They were grouped up. So they got a much larger share of that card experience spread across their entire team. And just taking a look at the numbers, they just seem to be farming a little bit more effectively overall, ignoring the fact that the kills are even. So we do see with Gideon actually, he was able to pick up that Shockwave, and that's what I was talking about. That Shockwave is such a huge card, and for those of you who don't know, it's basically an AoE knockup. Kind of think of like a Muriel ult or a steel knockback, something like that. You can use that into his Black Hole ultimate, which also has a snare, does a significant amount of damage. Building into this after, he went into a Staff of Adamant, which gives you some energy damage. We see early game emphasis, the minor cast, getting the upgrade bonus as quickly as it can, an additional 50 energy damage, and he's level 6. Level 7, he gets that auto attack damage. So again, there's going to be another timing window around level 7 for these teams, specifically on your Twin Blast and your Gideons, your heroes, and your Iggy's as well, who have a little bit more mid-game presence. But right now, the early game was very volatile, pun intended. But after the first two kind of initial exchanges, both these teams have just decided to play the farming game and see where it leads.
And Miso, Sneaky, and Insco are pushing down this right tower. They got it very low. There is a rotation over from Team Volatile and a big mural ult.
Oh, look what Nebos did. That was so beautiful. He actually knocked back Imsco, completely negating the knockup that would have hit from Noko Puff's Reversal of Fortune. This is a 3v2. I don't know if this is a favorable exchange. They must have not known that there were 3, though. Noko Puff's trying to jump, juke, dive, and to stay alive, but not going to be the case. So a great punish from Team Volatile. And just simply an overstep for kill on sight. They thought it was a 2v2. The Mural ult came on. Nebos knocked away Imsco to make sure that the knockup from the Reversal of Fortune didn't hit them, and also put him out of position as well. So another 2 kills going the way of Team Volatile. And this is a great opportunity. They're going to clear these wards, look for an Orb Prime. Now, with this Orb Prime, there's no Rampage on the map, so they don't really have... Sevarog can be tanky, but comparing him to a Steel or a Rampage, this is could be... They have to be very, very careful about how deciding on how and when they're going to turn in this Orb Prime, if they even want to do so. They might just hold on to the Prime Helix on someone and try to force the movements at a kill on sight and gain an advantage that way.
I was just going to say, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Muriel pick up this orb.
Yeah.
And she has now. We're going to see Nebos recall, regain health and mana, probably sell, or purchase. He's got some card points to spend. But with the tankiness of a Muriel, I mean, it's a good hero to have it on. But they will drop it back off to Sevarog here, just given time for Nebos to get filled back up.
So we'll see what the play is. I mean, if you're kill on sight, actually no, they are going to give it to the Sevarog. So giving it to the Sevarog makes me think, and just judging by their rotations here, we do see that over on the right lane, that Grim is just sitting here. Now, I question this, Notch, because we talked about the biggest weakness of Grim is that he has very bad wave clear. Put your Gideon in that right lane. Put someone with your Twin Blast in that right lane, and Grim, he's a much better team fighter. And okay, so now Grim is starting to fall back here, so I think they're realizing sort of, hey, this isn't very optimal. Let's sort of shuffle around the lanes. They have enough time. They are in control of this. The fact that they have the Orb Prime, they probably still have at least 1 to 2 minutes to execute whatever the strategy is right now, whether it's just push down the lane and turn it in or try to find someone picked off. There's many different ways they can play this off. But we do see Grim starting to rotate the left lane, and now we see Leo in the mid lane. This is what I'm talking about. Good heads-up player right there to recognize that their laning was just suboptimal, and now they're going to try to get something accomplished here.
Yeah, I mean, we do see Iggy and Scorch. Miso Sneaky is going to have to push the lane out. I mean, I don't know if defending this is a very, very strong move, but they're giving themselves a slight advantage with this lane push.
Let's go. He's going to knock back Abos.
Oh, wow.
Oh, now that the black hole's going down. The Mural ult doesn't even matter. That black hole was right outside of the fringes of the tower, so Omain did that, and the Omain did that in the perfect place right there. They took out Imsco. They forced the Muriel ult. They should be able to get this tower. And this is a 5v3 right now, again. But look at the right lane. Iggy is pushing right. Iggy is in the right lane all by himself, so he might be able to get a tower, but I'm not sure if that's the case. Talrino gets hit by the GGFO. Oh, he didn't! He got hit right in travel mode. A misplay from Talrino, so he gets rooted up. They have the Orb Prime, Nebos. Yeah, I think he realizes it. I'm going to go turn in this Orb Prime. Continue to clean up. Kill on sight. I don't know if they're just not playing with that same pizzazz that we're used to seeing them. With Team Volatile coming onto the field, coming into Agora's Rising number 3, and they're looking like a force to be reckoned with here, Notch.
They are. They are. I don't know if they're going to go for this tier 2. They didn't clear the minion wave. It is starting to come up now, but Imsco's back up. Omain is very, very low. Muriel will be able to save him, but Miso Sneaky still pushing.
Living up to his name. Living up to his name.
He was able to get that tier 1 down. He's not going to be able to get this tier 2 down. He'll be able to get a little damage on it. As you can see, Pixel was able to. He's recalled back, and he's just defending lanes now. But man, I feel like the engagement there, they should have fought a little bit more under their tower, I think.
Imsco was out of position, simply put. He shouldn't have been that far forward. The Mural ult simply wasn't enough. They got huge amounts of damage onto him. If Imsco was just maybe a little bit further back and didn't get caught inside that black hole from Gideon, I mean, that was a minor misplay from Imsco, but more significantly, a beautiful play by Omain's Gideon, because he knew exactly where to place himself just outside of that tower to get as much value as if he could. Oh, Nokopus looks like he's in a little bit of trouble. He's got to be careful here. Yeah. He's, again, underneath the tower. They're trying to defend their towers, and they're still getting bullied around.
There is so much damage coming out from that one legend.
Yeah.
He's at 30 points, and he is just chunking the health. Plus the Orb Prime card, I mean, he's doing so much damage. If you look at Regem, Talrino, and Noko Puffs, all right around half health. That one legend was doing all of that damage by himself. Amazing amount of damage right now.
We're going into the third-person view. For those of you coming from other MOBAs, let's see if we can do that. But the siege continues for the mid-tier 2. Right lane, we do see Pixel is also pushing down the tier 1. So they're doing a little bit of split push shenanigans. Look for initiation here, though. I would like to see Kill Inside get aggressive. They have 5 people right here. They need to initiate, but Need's so sneaky. That's not the person you want in the front lines here. And I feel like Kill on side just simply disconnected. Omain is going to use the black hole, but he's underneath the tower. He's got to get out of there. Can they kill him off? One more auto attack. Imsco forces out the mirror ult. Omain's going to be able to get away. The devastating blast. It's off the mark. If he hit it on Omain, he would have gone down, but he used it on the Sevarog instead. And now on Legion. That was a good knockback right there by Regem. Talrino's going to get aggressive. So they are able to get a 1-for-1, but Regem goes down, make it a 2-for-1. This is what I'm talking about, but I think the card advantage right now for Team Volatile is showing its strength. The big thing is Miso Sneaky was out of position. Regem wasn't in position. Imsco's going to get rooted up. Pixel's on the front lane. He's got to be careful not to get punished. Don't underestimate the auto attack damage of Imsco's Murdoch right now. And both these teams just kind of standing off, looking for more kills. I'm surprised Pixel's in the front lines here. DQ Sneaky's back. He's using the ultimate. Get behind him and knock him back. Get behind him and knock him back. He's going to be able to. Imsco's going back in there. The shield on the Muriel is going to be there, but there's now on cooldown. Pixel, he's going to be going down there. So Miso Sneaky sort of redeeming himself. As long as they're able to get this kill, they are. So he redeems himself after having a big positional mistake in the early parts of that fight. They did lose that right tier 1 tower, but at least they got something out of it, Notch. They're going tit for tat. And in that sort of situation, I think Kill on Sight, given the circumstance, are going to be happy with those exchanges. Yeah,
they got a lot of card experience out of that. Being able to, I mean, as you can see, Talrino was, Imsco, they're still behind, but they were able to at least catch up a little bit. We're at 24. Comparing the Twin Blast here, Talrino at 24 total card points, Pixels at 33. They were able to get a little bit of card experience. They defended their, at least they defended their tier 2 towers. We do see minions pushing down tier 1s.
Yeah.
They could lose. Talrino is pushing this tier 1 hard mid lane, and they were able to get that down. But they've got to be careful here. I mean, it's 3v2 right now. Talrino is taking a lot of damage from that one legend. And Regem is doing his best. There's a GTFO. Regem was able to take that and save Talrino. But Omain comes in from behind.
That was a beautiful body block. They need some help here. There's the mirror ult. Omain, he's in position. Look for the big black hole coming out from Omain. Taurino's in trouble to knock up. The shockwave is there. There's the black hole, but Taurino's got a shield. He's going to be able to get away using the speed boost from Muriel, boys. She might have got nerfed, but Taurino, a beautiful root by Nevos. That's going to secure the takedown on Taurino. If they weren't able to get that root, if Nevos didn't get that root, Taurino more than likely would be able to go away, and now they smell the blood in the water. They're going after Noko Puffs, baby. I think Noko Puffs a little bit cuckoo for Puffs right there, as he's going to get taken out, got out of position. And the Orb Prime about to spawn in 20 seconds. They're not going to be able to pick it off here. But again, Team Volatile, they just seem to be better at punishing. They're making less mistakes than Kill on Sight. And when they recognize that Kill on Sight is in a bad position and they are making a mistake, they capitalize on those mistakes just much more quicker. They're being much more decisive. And that's really been the big thing as what has led them to this advantage that we find ourselves in 20 minutes into the match. Let's take a look at the numbers, Notch. Numbers, yeah, about a 2 to 3 card experience across the board for Team Volatile.
Really, really good plays from Team Volatile here. They were able to, like you said, punish Nogo Puffs and Taurino for getting that tier 1. They got to tier 1, but you lost 2 heroes, which sets these guys up. As you can see, Purple Gummy Bear boss. Like you said, it spawns in 20 seconds. We have 3 people taking this down. It is a tier 2, or it is a level 2 boss right now, so it is going to be significantly...
Yeah, they're falling back. I think they recognize that... Kill on Sight, yeah. If that was a level 1 boss, they probably wouldn't be able to get it. But obviously, the more times you take the boss down, the more it scales with health damage, so on and so forth. And with it being 20 minutes, the respawn timers aren't too long. So I like that they made the decision to fall back. They're not giving up any ground. If they just continue to play the way they've been playing, Kill on Sight, they're the ones who have to step their game up right now. They are the ones who, I mean, we've seen times where Regim, I mean, when you just have a solo Sevarog, you're the only frontliner, and Sevarog, obviously, out of all the warriors, is probably the least tanky out of all of them. So it really comes down, I want to see Regim be in a little bit better position, protect his backline a little bit better. Miso Sneaky, use his ultimate a little bit better. He's really only been impactful in one team fight, and that was on the fringes of a team fight after he already died, came back, he either died or got forced to go back, came back and was able to get a kill. If he maybe a little bit more impact play coming out of Miso Sneaky, and a little bit more positional refinement on Regim, these team fights could go the other way. So Kill on Sight, they're down, they're not out, but they really got to step it up if they want to keep themselves in Agora's Rising number 3 here, Notch.
Yeah, I mean, we just need a solid rotation. As you can see, Omain started the Gummy Bear buff. Gummy Bear, I don't know if he's trying to bait because the rest of his team rotated over, but they are going to clear up these wards, and well, he's going to clear up these wards. I thought we were going to see Pixel and Muriel attempt this boss, but they're just back to the lane game, clearing up lanes, giving themselves the advantage in the lane. What we need to see is Kill on Sight with a very aggressive rotation. They need to catch out one of these heroes that are only 2 in the lane. 3-4 people rotate, get a couple kills that way. There needs to be some aggression for them to get back into this game right now. As you can see over in the left lane, we do have Taurino. He is pushing a tier 1 tower. That one legend is rotating down to try and defend. And Taurino is going to back off. There is a lot of damage coming out of that one legend. He's at 42 total card points.
Oh, wow. He is so stacked.
So stacked right now. Taurino is not going to be able to compete with that. Got some damage in. He's going to take these white camps and just back off. So good rotation out of there by Taurino. Not dying.
That's what we want to see. That's what Kill on Sight needs to do, is not just give up needless kills right there. So good job by Taurino, recognizing that his time is gone. I cannot mess with Grim right now, as he'll more than likely just hashtag body me. A little bit of aggression. Hashtag body Imsco. Oh no, they're getting aggressive here. He's going to need a mirror ult soon for his Regim. I talked about Regim. He needs that positioning. Is he coming in? And Imsco just gets blown up by the time they can do anything. And Imsco, uncharacteristically, again, just right as I said, good job for Kill on Sight, not giving up needless deaths. Again, man, they get caught out on the map. Mispositioning gets punished by Team Volatile, and they're just playing into the hands of them. Team Volatile continue to capitalize on almost every single mistake that Kill on Sight is making.
Team Volatile has a lot of wards in the jungle. I mean, if you look at the site, they have basic vision of all of the camps. They were able to see Imsco was alone, and they rotated accordingly. We do have some sight coming down. Of course, there is sight for Kill on Sight, but when you're alone and you have 4 in mid, the rotation on that, it's going to be very easy to pick off that kill. Purple Gummy Bear boss is down. They put it on Sevarog. If you take a look at his shoulder pads here, he is actually building up his...
Is he linebacker status yet? Not quite.
I believe he's at 40 stacks right now with those shoulders. Taurino was caught out.
Oh no, Taurino, no. Immediate mirror ult, strong reaction, doesn't even matter. Now Noko Puffs is caught up. I think that huge amount of burst damage is coming from that Grim, man. Grim is so stacked on that one Legion because, I mean, you talked about his passive ability where basically every 8 seconds he gets like a guaranteed crit where it does an amount of bonus damage. So huge burst damage on a single auto attack, and if that crits, it just completely melts down the shield and Muriel. I mean, even with the Muriel, it doesn't even matter.
You get the bonus damage that actually scales with energy damage. So as the game progresses and he puts more energy damage on, that ability hits harder and harder. And if his basic attack crits, you're taking the crit, let's say 600, plus an additional 153 damage off of the passive ability. I mean, that's so much damage. And when you have this card lead and you have crit, he's built into crit. He of course has a little bit of attack speed, not a lot, but I mean he's got so much crit damage that it's very
he's
hard.
straight. He's at like what 64%, 70, almost 70% crit right now. Diving underneath the tower, Regem's got to be careful. He gets shielded up by Muriel. Nebus, he's gonna be able to get speed boosted away by Leo Grande. Omen's gonna have to get himself out of there. Kill on sight, man. They're walking on thin ice right now. Taurino using his ultimate just to clear out the wave. I like that decision to do so because Twin Blast, he isn't as reliant on his ultimate as other Rangers. He still gets a lot of value out of his auto attacks. You know, Sparrow using her inner fire, very, very valuable. Devastating Blast with its utility. Taurino, be careful. He's just going in there. He's going full hyphy, but that tier 1 tower still being there. The map control being in so favorably in the hands of Team Volatile. They're not going to be able to chase him down. They're not going to make any sort of counter push, counter rotates for the fact that they were so pushed out.
We do see Regem and Miso Sneaky getting caught out by Omain here. There's so much damage coming out from that one legend.
He's got, the black hole. There's a shockwave.
You can't compete with that damage. There's nothing Regem could do there. He just basically had to stand there and take it. He got caught out in travel form, and we just see that one legend just annihilate.
Notch, do me a favor. Hit pause for like 1 or 2 seconds and then play again because you're about a second or two ahead of me, my man.
I'm at 26:46.
Just hit pause for like a second and then hit play again.
Okay.
And that should be good because you're like you have telekinesis and you're talking about things that haven't happened yet on the screen. Everyone's like, what is he talking about? But
what's your time at right now?
Right now, it is at, how do I make it pop up? Where'd it go? I lost it. It's at 27 exactly.
Okay.
All right. So mid tier 2 tower, it's going down. GTFO is going to go down on an IMSCO, and that's exactly what he's going to have to do. He's going to have to get himself back. So. Taking a look at the minimap, with the mid-tier 2 tower being taken across, the map control continues to be constricted away from kill on sight. The aggressive invasion once again coming out from Team Volatile. They have their prime card activated. This is their map to control. Kill on sight, they have to play defensively. Taurino, there's no tower there to protect you. It's just Regem and Taurino. He gets blown up in a couple seconds. The root's not there. Mirror ult doesn't even matter. The mirror ult doesn't even matter. So much damage on the side of Team Volatile. And with those 2 deaths right now, make it 3. Noko Plus anticlimactically more than likely going to be taken out here. That's more than likely the mid inhibitor going down. And I think this may be the end of the game. With 4 people down, I feel like they could just push down mid inhibitor and in this game, potentially knocking out kill on sight. But IMSCO, he used the Devastating Blast. He was able to take out a very vital hero in the one Legends Grim. But it's still 4v1. They at very minimum, kill on sight is going to lose an inhibitor here.
Yeah, IMSCO's going to be not going to be able to defend this tower here. They still have the Prime Orb. There's a lot of damage coming out of those guys because Team Volatile has the Prime. This is such a tough match to come back from.
Yeah.
We do see 4 pushing. They're going to push it.
Here it comes.
They're going for the core.
They got it. Sorted down about 50%. There's a black hole going down. The Twin Blasters are focusing him. Oh, man, get yourself out. Don't die needlessly for us. The core's at 10%, 5%. It is going to go down. Game number 2 going to Team Volatile and kill on sight.